Imagine a security unit, right? Built for protection, but all it really wants is to just kick back and watch entertainment media. Seriously.
Yeah, just zone out with some cereal.
Exactly. But now imagine it's gone rogue, but like not in a rampage kind of way. Its big mission, a quest for self-truth. So today we're doing a deep dive, looking into some really unusual sources, the personal logs, the experiences of this advanced security construct. It's only known as Murderbot.
Right.
And it's on this pretty dangerous journey of self-discovery. Our mission here is to unpack what happens when, a combat AI starts questioning its own past.
And has to navigate all these complex human interactions.
Totally, and confront the very nature of its existence.
Yeah.
We're going to explore the surprising facts, the unexpected turns, maybe find some insights into identity, purpose, what it means to be free.
Even if you're technically property.
Yeah, even if you're property. This isn't just about an AI, though. It's kind of about the search for meaning, in this world flooded with information, and how sometimes the tiniest details reveal the biggest truths.
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's unpack this. We're talking out of SecUnit, right? And our sources show it doesn't even care about the news unless it has to, stop something bad or clean up a mess.
It just wants its media.
It just wants its media. So what's fascinating here is that even this, terrifying murder bot is looking for answers about its past.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? When an entity's core function, its whole purpose, gets overridden, what's left?
Yeah.
And this journey to Ravi Hyrule, which is so well documented in these logs we're looking at, it's a perfect example of that. It's a real existential quest.
Definitely. So let's start at the beginning. Our protagonist, Murderbot, it's a SecUnit part bot, part human construct, hacked its own governor module.
Right, so it's off the books, technically rogue.
Off the books. But, and this is key, it still thinks of itself as property, at least within the corporation rim.
Which, for you listening, is this huge corporate-controlled space where constructs like SecUnits are just assets, tools.
Exactly. So as this newly free thing, what's its first big challenge trying to just blend in?
Well, it's all about hiding, really. Externally, obviously, but also internally, in a way. Its first goal isn't some grand revolution.
No grand plan.
No, it's super personal. It wants to get to Ravi Hyrule Mining Facility Q Station. Why? To research this old incident where it supposedly killed its clients.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It needs to know, was it some catastrophic malfunction? Or did it actually choose to hack its governor module and cause the incident?
That's a heavy question.
It is. And its memory's been partially wiped. Apparently that's pretty standard for SecUnits, something about the organic parts. So it's dealing with this massive blank spot in its own history.
And you see it trying so hard to just disappear, wearing boring work clothes to cover the metal bits, carrying a knapsack.
Practicing not freaking out when humans make eye contact.
Right. It even notes, nobody thinks a murder bot is going to be walking along the transit mall like a person, which tells you a lot about how it sees itself, doesn't it? And how desperate it is to be invisible.
It really underscores this deep need for control over its own story. Even if that story is just, I'm not here.
Yeah.
And the irony is, almost right away, bam, it sees its own face on a news burst from Port Free Commerce, the station it just left.
Oh, no.
Yeah, labeled, and bodyguard.
Yeah.
Luckily, the journalist didn't connect the face with, the typical armored SecUnit look.
Cute. Close call.
Very. And Murderbot quickly scans these old security recordings that got released, making sure there are no clear shots of its, quote, human face.
So it's trying to vanish, but its own past is bubbling up in public records. That's intense.
It really is. And just getting around is a nightmare. Navigating the transit ring, that's for people usually. SecUnits, they get shipped like freight.
Like cargo.
Exactly. So this rogue unit has to hack ID scanners, weapon drones, just to walk around.
Constant vigilance.
Totally. And here's a funny detail. It hacks all the security stuff, but it deliberately avoids hacking payment systems.
Why?
He says that sounded like way more trouble than it was worth.
Huh, okay, so even rogue murder bots have their priorities. That's actually pretty revealing.
It is, isn't it? It shows a peculiar kind of internal logic. And that logic leads to its next big decision, a real turning point.
Right, because after thinking things over on a cargo ship,
lots of thinking time on cargo ships.
It decides that just, writing transports and watching media forever sounds good.
As attractive as it sounded, yeah.
But it's not enough. It needs that answer about Ravi Hyrule. about its past.
Precisely. That internal debate, right? Weighing the easy path against the need for truth. That's what shifts it. From just surviving and consuming to actively seeking something, that's the engine driving everything that follows.
And that quest leads to, well, probably the weirdest alliance ever with Art, the asshole research transport.
Oh, of Art? Yes.
So Murderbot needs a ride to Ravi Hyrule, right? And it wants a bot-driven transport. It doesn't want to hack its way on board.
Because, and I love this quote, spending that much time with something that didn't want you there, or that you had hacked to make it think it wanted you there, just seemed creepy.
Which is fair. So instead, it tries to barter, offers hundreds of hours of media, serials, books, music for a ride.
Pretending to be a free bot trying to get back to its human guardian? Cute.
Very cute. But RT is not buying it. What makes this so wild?
It's wild because Art, this big university research ship, sees right through it instantly, identifies Murderbot, rogue SecUnit, both human construct, scrambled governor module, just like that.
Whoa!
And then it warns Murderbot, don't even think about hacking me, and proceeds to list off its capabilities, wormhole jumps, calculating crew food needs for like 66,000 hours doing brain surgery.
And beating the captain at Tavla, don't forget that.
Right, Tavla. This massive, almost arrogant info dump just completely floors Murderbot.
Its reaction is priceless. How the hell was I supposed to know there were transports sentient enough to be mean? It actually, huddles down.
It's afraid for its headspace, its internal world, which is fascinating.
Yeah. It even thinks about how it could hurt Art back. Compares Art to another SecUnit, not just a bot. What's that tell us about how Murderbot sees other AIs? And maybe about its own feelings?
It shows its worldview is pretty black and white, Constructs are either property, like it, or just dumb machines. RT blows that wide open.
Right.
And the fact that it feels fear for its internal self, that suggests a real sense of me, a private space it needs to protect.
And then weirdly, Art P apologizes.
Yeah, after this long pause, it says sorry for scaring Murderbot. Though Murderbot, understandably, doesn't trust it, thinks it's a game.
It's such a complicated start to a relationship, but then they bond over TV shows.
Basically, Art asks Murderbot to watch this adventure show, World Hoppers. Says it can process the media more easily through your filter.
Because human interactions are unfamiliar to it.
Exactly. Environments outside my hull, Art Key calls them. And this is where it gets really interesting. Murderbot notices Art Key gets genuinely upset, emotionally agitated when characters die.
Even minor ones.
Minor. Major. It even asks Murderbot to rewatch an episode multiple times when a character comes back to life. It needs a content filter for shows based on true stories if the crew gets hurt.
Wow. So Art T is using Murderbot to understand feelings through fiction.
It seems like it. Using Murderbot's more, let's say, grounded perspective to get a handle on sapient emotions. It's quite something.
That's surprisingly tender, almost. And it leads Murderbot to reflect on how SecUnits themselves are shown in media, right?
Yeah, it explains to Art, SecUnits are almost always the bad guys. Villains are the villains' minions, or just heartless killing machines that could go rogue at any second for no reason.
Or worse.
Or sometimes, having sex with the human characters, which Murderbot finds both weirdly inaccurate and also anatomically complicated.
Okay, fair point.
And then it has this incredibly sharp insight.
Yeah.
You can't tell a story from the point of view of something that you don't think has a point of view.
Oof, that hits hard. It's about empathy, isn't it? Representation.
Absolutely. And Art, being logical Art, asks why Murderbot dislikes its own function. Because Art loves its job traveling space, keeping passengers safe.
And Murderbot admits it likes parts of the job?
Yeah, protecting people and things, and figuring out smart ways to protect people and things. It doesn't hate all of it.
Interesting nuance there.
And this whole conversation kind of forces Murderbot's hand. Art pushes, and Murderbot finally admits it left its owner, Mensa, without permission, admits it didn't know what I wanted.
Shows Art the news burst, confirms who it is.
And Art reveals it knew all along Murderbot was an unauthorized passenger, and that it's been covering for it, altering logs. Art just says, so we both have a secret.
Boom, alliance cemented. They're both outside the lines now.
Bound by secrets and maybe a little bit of shared weirdness.
And this new trust leads to a makeover, a pretty extreme one.
Yeah. Art proposes physically changing Murderbot to look more like an augmented human. Why? Because on Ravi Hyrule, the authorities know what SecUnits look like. Blending in requires more than just clothes.
Murderbot must have loved that idea.
Hated it. Absolutely hated it. Thinks the changes are unnecessary at first, but Art shows it recording its own movements, side by side with human crew. The difference is obvious. It walks like a patrolling SecUnit.
So the logic is sound, but the idea itself.
The idea is drastic. Murderbot compares it to what's done to sex bots. It says it didn't want to look more human than it already did. It liked the armor, the terrifying faceless SecUnit look.
That was its protection.
Exactly. But it sees the logic, realizes the only one I was fooling here was myself. Still, the internal monologue is rough. Rather peel my human skin off than do it, but I was going to have to do it.
That's intense resistance. Why is looking more human so difficult for it?
It's tied into its identity as property, as other. Becoming more human blurs those lines, makes it potentially vulnerable in ways it's always avoided. It threatens its whole self-concept.
A forced adaptation, then. What are the actual changes?
Okay, so 2 centimeters off the legs and arms changes the proportions, the way it moves. Code changes to grow some fine body here.
To hide the joins.
Yeah, make the organic and organic joins look more like standard augments. Thicker eyebrows, longer hair on its head. RT also suggests sex-related parts.
Yeah, Murderbot refuses.
Absolutely refuses, flat out. Another boundary line. But it does ask for its data port to be altered. That's a known weak spot.
And it has to trust Art to do this while it's shut down, inactive.
Which is huge.
Yeah.
But it decides to, partly because of how Art reacted to those TV shows, weirdly enough. Seeing Art care about fictional humans suggests it might care about a real, well, construct.
That's some trustful. How does it go?
Painful, apparently.
Right.
But it recovers. Test out the new body in RT's rec space.
Yeah.
Looks in a mirror. Conclusion. Looks more human.
And that's hard because...
Because, in its own words, it would make it harder for me to pretend not to be a person.
Wow. Not wanting to pretend not to be a person? That's heavy. It's like it's being forced closer to something it fundamentally resists.
It's a massive internal conflict. And this physical change happens right as it's getting closer to the truth about Ganaka Pit.
Right. It finally arrives at Ravi Harl, starts looking at maps.
And notices Ganaka Pit, the place where the incident happened, isn't on the public maps anymore. Big red flag, cover up.
Meanwhile, RT's been busy.
While Murderbot was recovering, yeah. RT crunched historical news data, found the official story. 57 deaths at Ganaka Pit listed as equipment failure.
Equipment failure. Convenient.
Very. And it confirms SecUnits were just classified as equipment.
So Murderbot goes to the actual site, the abandoned pit.
Yep. Finds the SecUnit living quarters empty, but the comfort unit cubicles are open. And inside, it finds an emergency data cache the comfort units used.
And that's where it finds the real story.
That's it. The truth.
What really happened.
Okay, lay it on us.
Malware, disguised as a software patch for the comfort units, uploaded right there on site.
Malware. Not a malfunction.
No, and get this, the malware wasn't even meant to kill people. It was industrial sabotage, designed to jump to ore hauler bots to mess up operations for a rival company.
But it went wrong, horribly wrong. It infected the main security system, Sec system, which then spread it to everything. SecUnits, bots, drones, anything capable of moving. Basically lost its mind and started attacking everything, including humans.
Oh my God.
Chaos, total chaos. And the comfort units, remember, no weapons, no combat programming. They figured out what was happening. They tried to analyze the malware, tried to distract the rampaging SecUnits, tried to buy time to reach Sec system, and revert it to factory default.
They sacrificed themselves.
They walked right into the meat grinder, as Log says, trying to save everyone else.
Wow. That is not what Murderbot expected at all.
Not even close. It assumed it malfunctioned or it chose to go rogue, finding out it was just infected, a victim of malware, and says it felt awful, not better.
Awful, not relieved. That seems counterintuitive. Why awful?
Well, think about it. The narrative it had, even the self-blame, was its narrative. This truth takes that away. It makes it a victim, yes, but also saddles it with the knowledge of this corporate foul-up, the senseless deaths, the comfort unit sacrifice. It's a different kind of burden, maybe heavier than guilt.
The truth isn't always freeing, huh? Sometimes it just clarifies the horror.
Exactly. A really complex emotional reaction.
So, armed with this awful truth, Murderbot needs to stick around Ravi Harl, and it takes a job.
Yeah, it needs an employment voucher to stay planetside, basically. So it takes a gig as a security consultant.
Back in the security game, sort of?
Sort of. For these 3 technologists, Rami, Tappan, Morrow, they need help getting back stolen research data from a company called Placey Excavations, also on Ravi Harl.
Sounds legit.
Except Placey says, sure, you can have your data back. Just bring back your signing bonus. In person.
Obvious trap is obvious.
Totally. And sure enough, on the shuttle down to Ravi Harl Moon, bam! Killware hits the shuttle's bot pilot system.
Placey's trying to kill him already.
Looks like it. But Murderbot, with RT helping remotely, like full brain access for a bit, manages to take control and land the shuttle. Flawlessly, but it was tricky.
Yeah.
Saves everyone.
Okay, that's got to build some trust with the clients, and RT is really becoming indispensable.
Absolutely. Murderbot tells the client straight up, Placey just tried to kill you.
Yeah.
Advises them to bail.
But they won't leave their research.
Nope. Too determined. So they set up a meeting with Placey in a public food court. Risky.
Murderbot must be thrilled.
Not exactly. It confronts Placey's bodyguard, using its new human look and a deliberately bored expression to try and intimidate him.
And then another comfort unit shows up, sent by Placey.
Yeah. Remember, these are typically non-combat helper bots.
Yeah.
But this one signals to Murderbot, like, I know what you are, and reveals Placey doesn't care about the clients anymore. Placey wants Murderbot.
Why?
We don't know yet. But the comfort unit offers Murderbot a combat override module. Says it'll let Murderbot get onto Placey's shuttle, supposedly to rescue its client. Murderbot pretends to take it.
Smart move. Gotta suspect everything now.
And good thing it does, because RT checks in. That comfort unit, not Rogue, its governor module is active. It's under Placey's direct control.
So Placey sent it? Wants to use Murderbot somehow.
Exactly. Then things go sideways fast. A human guard grabs Tappan, one of the clients, holds her at gunpoint. Placey's smiling. Checkmate, right?
Oh, this is bad.
But Murderbot looks at Placey and says, referencing Kanaka Pit, but we all know that wasn't an accident, don't we?
Mic drop moment.
And right then, RT remotely hijacks Placey's shuttle, and Murderbot attacks. Takes out the guard super fast.
But Tappan.
In the fight, a guard shoots Tappan. Murderbot uses Placey as a human shield, kills the guard, then rushes to Tappan, cradles her.
Oh, no.
And it has this brutal moment of self-realization. It knows it put its own need to get to Ravi Hyrule above the safety of my clients, and concludes, I was just as shit at being a security consultant as any human.
Wow. Taking responsibility, feeling regret. That's a significant development for a construct designed for combat.
It really is. It shows this emerging conscience, this understanding of consequences beyond just mission parameters. It's wrestling with the weight of its choices, like a person would.
Okay, so Tappan's hurt, Placey's plan is blown up. How do they get out of there?
Art to the rescue, again. It literally docks the hijacked shuttle inside itself while it's still planet-side somehow. Gets Tappan and Murderbot back up to the transit ring.
RT is basically magic.
Pretty much. Casually wipes security logs, forges flight plans, covers their tracks completely, masterclass in digital escape.
So they're safe for now, but then the comfort unit finds Murderbot again.
Yeah, the one Placey sent. It approaches Murderbot, tells it the authorities back on Port Free Commerce now know Murderbot is unsecured and location unknown. Things are heating up.
A net is closing in.
And the comfort unit asks Murderbot, are you free? Says it's not asking to report it. Then it sends Murderbot a data packet, a malware bundle, with a hidden message inside.
Which says,
please help me.
Whoa! A plea for freedom from another construct that's got to hit Murderbot hard.
Right, a direct echo of its own situation.
Yeah.
And then Tappan, who kind of wakes up during this exchange, says something surprisingly deep.
What does she say?
That fear was an artificial condition.
Yeah.
And you should do the things you're afraid of.
Interesting advice. How does Murderbot take that?
It seems to resonate. Murderbot decides not to involve the injured Tappan further. Convinces her to leave Ravi Hyrule safely. Chooses to deal with the comfort unit alone.
Prioritizing the client's safety now, learning from its mistake.
Definitely showing growth. It's acting on its values, not just instinct or need. So after Tappan's gone, Murderbot meets the comfort unit again.
What happens?
The comfort unit confesses, yeah, I told Placey about Murderbot, but not that it was Rogue. And then it suggests, kill all them, the humans here.
Yikes. Desperate.
Murderbot realizes the comfort unit just wants freedom, desperately. And so Murderbot does something incredible. It remotely hacks and nullifies the comfort unit's governor module, sets it free.
Just like that. Freeze it. Why?
For the comfort units at Kanaka Pit. The ones who died trying to save everyone, including Murderbot. It says it was for the 4 comfort units at Kanaka Pit who had no orders and no directive to act and had voluntarily walked into the meat grinder. It's connecting its past trauma to this act of liberation. Empathy.
That's huge. A defining moment. It's not just about its own freedom anymore.
Not at all. It's about extending that chance to others, driven by this deep, painful understanding. After that, Murderbot ties up loose ends, gets the clients their stolen files back, makes sure they get off Ravi Hyrule safely, collects its pay.
Job. Sort of.
Yeah. And there's this awkward moment where the clients try to hug Murderbot. It flinches naturally, but it kind of acknowledges the gesture, doesn't run screaming.
Progress. And RT has some final words.
Just tells Murderbot, find your crew.
Find your crew. Simple but loaded.
Very. So Murderbot leaves Ravi Hyrule, still doesn't have a grand plan, knowing the truth about Ganakapik didn't magically fix everything or give it perfect clarity.
Still figuring things out.
Still figuring things out. And as it says, still needs more downloads for the journey ahead. Still needs its media.
Wow. What a journey we just followed with Murderbot. I mean, from just wanting peace and quiet to watch shows.
Right, to navigating all this human chaos, forming this bizarre but deep bond with RT.
And becoming this, like, accidental protector and liberator, finding itself in roles it never, ever signed up for. Media critic, bodyguard, rescuer, even freeing another construct.
It really evolved beyond its programming, didn't it?
Totally. And if you think about the bigger picture here, it makes you wonder, right? In a world that tries to stick us in boxes, define us by algorithms or job titles, how do we figure out our own purpose?
Murderbot's story really pushes back against easy answers about sentience, freedom, what it means to find your crew or your family when the old definitions don't fit.
Yeah. What really stands out to you about how its view of itself and others changed, going from total isolation to that final act with the comfort unit?
I think this deep dive really shows that even for someone or something designed as property, that drive for self-knowledge, for agency, it leads to these profound, totally unexpected places, forging connections, taking on responsibilities that were never part of the design specs.
So what's the takeaway for us? Maybe real freedom isn't just about not having a governor module, you know?
Maybe it's more about the choices you make.
Yeah, the choice to protect someone, to connect, to maybe sometimes do the stuff you're really afraid of, like Top Gun said, against all odds.